again. Was that just beautiful? I know we all had a desire to clap, but there was something that said, this isn't clap worthy, this is heart clapping, like that silent clapping of appreciation for that beautiful song, I Am Light. And didn't that the Inspire Choir set us up to be ready to be spiritually fed? That was the appetizer. And now we'll move on to the main course. Or maybe that was the main course and this is dessert. Some people actually eat dessert before the main course. I'm from England and you have to do things in a particular way, and that's just out of the question. But I've been here in this country for long enough that maybe I can change my ways. I think it's been 40 years. So I've been working with a coach. So that I can develop a greater understanding of what it means to be a leader. Even though I've been the leader of this community for 7.5 years now, and leaders in other projects in the past, I've always resisted being a leader. Even though I have the natural tendency to be the leader, I've always wanted it to be more about us creating something together. So my coach encouraged me to create a sort of statement, a power statement for myself. And so I'm going to try it on. You can tell me what you think of this one. If it's a thumbs up, a thumb sideways, or a thumbs down. Does this clearly articulate or resonate with who you see me as? Okay, here we go. Hi, I'm Allie Benjamin, and I am a woman of spiritual wisdom. What I share with you today is intended to bring you into a more intimate relationship with your heart, with your power, and with your God. How's that sound? Is that a thumbs up? Okay, I'm going to develop that. I'm going to practice it so I can really stand up here in the middle of this stage and say that with a sense of authenticity and a real embodiment of that. And I'm just starting to find my way into a new place within myself as the leader of this community. And so I really encourage you to help me. If you could be on my coach's team and help me to become a better leader. So if there's something that you would like to come share with me, not now, but after, then come up to me and let me know. Is there something that you could see that something that I'm doing that you really love and something that you think I might want to develop a bit more? I'd be really pleased and honored if you would share that with me. So here we are. We are in the month of independence, freedom. And I've had 2 weeks off from speaking. So I'm a little rusty here. We've had Lyle gave a beautiful talk, and we had Lana come and share with us a couple of weeks ago on mindful life, mindful living. And so today I continue my little series of talks on freedom and what it means to be independent from a spiritual perspective. What does it mean to be independent when all we talk about is unity and oneness and one light and one love? We still have a role to play, a role of leadership, if you will, in your own life. So we are here at the Satya Center to help inspire and empower you to become brilliant lights and leaders in your own lives. So I am a woman of spiritual wisdom. And I'm here to help you to connect with your heart and with your God. So today we're going to go on a little bit of a journey. And Lyle read the talk title and he said, Unchain My Heart. Sounds like a Lady Charles song. And I was thinking that Leslie would have to do it, but no, I'm just teasing. But I'm not talking about unchaining my heart, or I'm suggesting that we unchain our hearts because we're lovesick. That's not what I'm talking about. When I say unchain my heart, I mean come into true alignment. Each of us come into true alignment with who we are at the very core of our being, our essential nature, our heart nature, our God nature, our Buddha nature. That we truly release the shackles that are restricting us from really sharing and shining our light in a very authentic way. So what binds us? What keeps us held back? What keeps our heart in a restricted or a shut down or an icy heart mode? What is it in our lives that we place reason on for that?
Attachments.
What's that? Attachments. Thoughts. Fear. Yeah. A lot of things. And all of that really goes on in our minds. So our minds are the thing that we need to look at to see why we're holding ourselves back. Because our heart and our body, we just want to be connected and having fun and engaged with our family and our friends and our life. So I ask you this question, and you don't need to answer out loud, but are you happy? Now I know in the New Thought movement, we're like, yes, I'm happy, everything is perfect. Life is good all the time. Right? We're told that, think happy thoughts. But I'm asking you at a soul level, at a heart level, are you happy? Do you like your life? Are you happy with your relationships? Do you like the way you show up in your relationships? Now you probably, if you're like me, I've been pondering these questions, you say, yeah, sometimes. And then there's the rest of the time where I don't really like myself, that I said something stupid and I wish I hadn't, that I had those nasty thoughts about someone, or if anything be different, then I'd be happy. I this flame out there, wishing the world would be different and stop bugging me so I could be happy. But what I know, what Science of Mind teaches us, is it's an inside-out job, that it starts with us. We can't wait till external conditions change. We have to be the change. It's what all the masters, the mystics, and the sages, and the teachers have told us. We have to take responsibility for our own happiness. So I showed you something interesting. This is probably something you've heard before, but it might make you look at things a little differently. You know that you're one. You're part of this wonderful process of the evolution of consciousness. You're a part of this one life. Michael talked about in his reading. Well, and Marilyn talked about in the meditation, if you want to hear, we did ohms. And she talked about the ohm being the vibration of creation. And maybe the Big Bang was the ohm was the actual start of that Big Bang. And we're still ohming. We're still banging, we're still becoming, we're still moving and growing as we as human beings alive today in July 2017, we, along with every other human being, with everything else in the universe, we are evolving consciousness and matter and form. We are it. We are evolution that's happening right now. And so with that awareness becomes a certain responsibility that we have to realize who we really are in the big picture of evolution. We are an aspect of the divine. If we all come from the one, and there's only God, then we're it. We are it, temporarily manifested in human form And we have a responsibility to evolve our species forward. And there are some that are saying we're not doing a very good job, that we're depleting our resources and we're mismanaging monies and 1% has all the money and the rest of us don't. And so we're not, as a human collective, we're not doing a really great job of realizing our oneness and doing a good job at consciously co-creating an environment that sustains human life and animal life and plant life. So it's up to us right now to really get this, that we're all one, and in order to create a thriving environment, we have to be responsible. We know that in Science Mind and here at the Satya Center, we can only really be responsible for what? Ourselves and our thoughts we think. Now, some other organizations feel like, well, no, we've got to go out there and be activists and make a change and try and stop have a war on drugs and a war on crime and a war. Well, no, we have to come into our hearts, remember who we are, and start to be the change that we seek. Because every human being is like a pebble in a pond. We ripple out, and what we do influences. So maybe our work isn't so bold and loud, and we're not walking around with a big sign, but we're doing the work, the foundational work that will encourage our children and those around us to come from a place of love and peace and understanding and acceptance. That's how it begins. It begins with us. So I want to share with you this wonderful, wonderful concept. So I'm going to call it the art of connection. And there's 3 invisible connectors. 3 ways that we connect with each other. So we start with ourselves. And maybe you might want to think of this in regards to a relationship you have with your spouse or your partner, or a relationship you have with your child, or maybe the relationship you have with yourself, your ego self and your essence self. That part of you that you're not so happy with, and that part of you that you really love. So this is about relationship and making a true connection. So we have these connectors. And these really, once we understand these connectors, they can be the ingredients so that we can become conscious co-creators in our life. The first one is space, this relational space that we have. You might want to think about the space that you have created with you and a friend, you and a loved one. Now, you are both creating a space between the 2 of you. That's what a relationship is. Think of it as the space that you're creating. And the 2 of you consciously or unconsciously create this space, this environment, this vibration. And each of you are responsible for what you bring into that space. So is what you're bringing into your space inviting love to grow? Is it inviting wisdom, insights? Is God in that space? Is beauty in that space? Yes, sometimes, maybe not all the time. Or are you in a relationship with someone or even yourself that you've got disharmony, where most of your thoughts are about judging, criticizing, belittling? What is the space that you're creating within your relationship? So number one connector is to be aware of the space that you're co-creating with your friend, your partner. And you're both responsible for that. And for those parents in the room, you're also responsible for creating a space where children can thrive and grow. So whatever nonsense is going on between the 2 of you, is that impacting the space where you're growing your beloveds? So there's the space. We become co-creators, intentional co-creators, by realizing that there's a space and we're responsible for that. Now then there's the bridge. There's the bridge across, away from what we don't like to what we do like. So this bridge, in creating this connection, we are responsible for letting go. We have to cross over a bridge. We have to let go of our ego, our judgments, that look that you give that person, or that judgment that just pops into the mind. And we have to let go of all of our baggage, all of our thoughts about how we think this relationship should be, or how it could be, or if only this would happen. All of that has to be gone. And then, so we create space, we let go, and then we have the encounter. We have the encounter with our loved one. And how we have the most authentic encounter, the most productive encounter, is to listen. Remember, we're creating space, we've let go of all our nonsense, and now we're there, heart to heart, face to face, in our space, and we're having an encounter, and we listen. We listen. We develop a skill of deep listening. I've been reading a book, 7,000 Ways to Listen. A lot of ways to listen. By Mike Nepo. And he says, to back up, another quote by a woman named Susan McHenry, deep listening is more than hearing with our ears, but taking in what is revealed in any given moment with our body, our being, and our heart. So we're there in this space, having this encounter. We're not there to give advice. We're there to listen with all of our being. Listen with that inner ear. Because that person, that beloved, that one that you want to be with, has shown up in your space to co-create with you, to create a relationship. So you're listening. Like Nepo says, if the purpose and gift of love is to awaken and reawaken what is dormant within us, then when we awake, it is our responsibility to stay awake and keep the gift alive. We do this by deep listening, not towards a goal or even towards a noble ambition, but as a way of life, staying devoted to listening with our heart more than once to everything. So, as I say that, are you thinking like I am? Have I been listening? Have I been truly listening to the divine being, the God being that has shown up in my life, whether it be one person you're thinking of or maybe a series of people? Have you listened? They say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, and everyone that shows up in our space is the teacher. So are we humble and available enough to listen to God speaking through another being, even if you don't like it? Are you listening? Ernesto's just jumping out of his skin over there. Okay, so why don't we listen? This all sounds good. This creating the space, moving across the bridge, and having a heart-to-heart connection. It all sounds great, doesn't it? Yes. So what is it that holds us back from doing that? So I'm sharing a story with you. This is a Yiddish story. And there was a tailor, and his name was, let me check, Mr. Goldberg. And Mr. Goldberg was a really great tailor, and people in the town knew him very well. Well, this gentleman came in to see Mr. Goldberg, the tailor, for a suit. So Mr. Goldberg gave him a suit and told him to go into the changing room, try it on, and he came out, and the man was just in this, weird configuration, trying to, fit the suit. And the man said, "What is this? The sleeve is just too short." And Mr. Goldberg said, "Well, just pull your arm up, and then the sleeve will fit." And he goes, "But what about this one? It's even worse. Again, just move your hand like this, and then, see, it's perfect." Except for the leg, well, you just move your leg like that, and then the pant leg will fit just fine. And what about this one? Well, there's this one, and you've just got to move like that. How's that?
Yeah.
And then he left the store, and he went out into the streets. Now he's walking along, and a couple coming towards him, and the woman said, "Oh my goodness, look at that. What a tailor to have been able to make a suit to fit a man in that condition. It's just incredible." This is like us. This is how we are. We've conformed to wear a suit that doesn't fit us. What is that? What is that suit that you're wearing that doesn't fit you, that's keeping your heart closed down and you not being able to shine your true self-expression and wear a suit that fits? Your suit, your original suit. It could be those opinions and thoughts of your parents. It could be things that ideas that you developed in your childhood about ways you thought you should be, the good girl, the good boy. There's a lot of ways we take on different suits, different ways of being to try and fit in, to try and conform, to people please, to enable, to be codependent. So we wear a suit that doesn't feel good, and then what happens? Angry, we're frustrated, we're bitter, we're sad, we're confused. Why? We're wearing the wrong suits. So these teachings are for you to understand who you really are and learn how to create a space with your loved ones, with every relationship, a space in which you can show up as your authentic self, where you give your partner, your friend, your spouse permission to do the same, a safe place to show up and communicate and share your concerns, but also not pollute your environment. How do we pollute our environment? You might be thinking about your life. What do you do to pollute the space between you and your loved one? And it's okay. It's okay. We just do what we do until we know a better way of doing it. So if you've been showing up with a lot of anger or frustration about something and polluting your space, it's okay. You just have a look at that. What am I really angry about? Is this anger that I'm bringing into our space serving us? And we know in science of mind, what we give attention to expands. That energy flows where our attention goes. So if we're moaning and groaning about someone, if we're showing up always talking about poor me, I don't have enough money, I can't do this, I've got this health issue, my kids are a pain in the neck, or there's a part of us, this ego part of us that is attached to wanting to share that stuff, hoping that there'll be a difference. Someone's going to come in and make it right for us, or somehow I don't know why we complain. But we do, and it's a habit, and we can stop it, because the law is exact. The law only gives to us that which we focus on. So if we continuously are moaning and groaning about something that's wrong, guess what? We're polluting our space, and that becomes what? Our relationship with ourselves, with our spouse, with our loved ones, and with life in general. You know, you've heard people say it's a half glass, the glass half, the half, whatever. Yeah. The glass half empty or half full.
Where's the wolf?
Feeling anger or love. We have an opportunity all the time to create the space. Because what I know is you are powerful, 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 powerful co-creator. There is an energy within you, I call it God, that is ready, willing, and able all the time to rush in to support you. You have to be the channel for that. You have to open up your mind to develop those God attributes that you are. Feels good when you're in them. When you're in love and creativity and possibility and enthusiasm. That's when you're in your most empowered self, your most spiritually mature self. When you're in doubt and victim consciousness and there's not enough and blah, 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 you're not you're living up to your true potential. And so you're creating a life that doesn't feel like it fits. So let's just end this with a beautiful activation, a prayer, to sort of remind ourselves, like really embody this. So these words are for you. I'm going to speak it in the first person because I'm speaking a word of power because we're all connected. This is your word too, if you choose it. If you choose it. So please close your eyes and tune into that God space, whatever that looks like for you inside of yourself. My teacher said that when I'm in the God space, it feels like I'm with my best friend. And I can talk to my best friend, and I can share, and my best friend loves me. When I'm in my God space, I feel free. I feel liberated. I feel one with everything. I realize the light that I am is shining, and I lift off the veil. I lift off the basket that has been hiding my light, and I say, here I am, here I am, here I am. I am the thinker that thinks the thoughts that creates my life. I have been given this gift, this amazing co-creative gift, this mind, this faculty of my imagination, of the vision that is coming to me now. I'm visualizing, and I am awakening to see that I am light. I see that the light that I bring into the world is the light of the divine. And so I speak my word now. I speak my word because the Lord is always listening. The Lord is always responding to my predominant thought, to my vibration. So I lift up my vibration. I lift it up out of the fear and shame and the blame, out of all of that, and I lift it up into the light of my own becoming. And here on the green growing edge of my own becoming, I say yes. Yes to wearing that suit that feels so good. Yes to the suit that says, I am love, I am creativity, I am wonder, I am awe, I am inspired, I am bliss. I am learning, I am growing, I am empowered, and life is always supporting me, even in those uncomfortable moments, like the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. It goes into the cocoon, and it becomes almost a mush as it melts down and transforms itself into these imaginal cells. So I'm feeling myself in this imaginal space of becoming and developing wings and wearing my new suit. And as I step into who I truly am as a being of love, and a being of light, and a being of inspiration, one that is responsible for creating beauty and planting seeds of love wherever I go, my wings are spread to the fullest, and I lift off, and I take flight, and I am free, and I am free, and my heart is free. It is unchained from the tethers of that little self, and I am born anew. I am born anew into who I really am. A being of light. I am light. Hand over your heart and repeat after me. I am light.
I am light.
I am love.
I am love.
I am peace.
I am peace.
I am creativity.
I am creativity.
I am power.
I am power.
I am truth.
I am truth.
I am wisdom.
I am wisdom.
I am one.
I am one.
I am thankful.
I am thankful.
So it is. Julia. I am a woman of spiritual wisdom, here to open your heart and connect you with your heart, and connect you with your God. So it's time for our offering of our gifts. We are a tithing center here at Satya, and everything that we bring in here by means of donations and contributions, we actually send 10% out into our community to support other organizations that are helping the people here in Ogden to shine their light. So if there's an organization that you know that is doing good works here in Ogden, spiritually feeding the people of Ogden and beyond, then come and let us know, let Bryn and Lyle know, because we want to add that to the list of people that we continue to circulate the good. Because what I know is energy flows where our attention goes, and we're all one, and we're all here to feed and uplift and help inspire and empower each other. We do this all the time. So please find the blessing of the offering and say it aloud with me, knowing that we're activating the law right now. Joyfully I give with gratitude, for I know that as